Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many twists and turns, as well as surprises and revelations in this film that will change our view on the entire Skywalker saga by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about this film that a lot of people are really excited about is, of course, exactly what J.J. Abrams is going to do that's really going to reshape the canon and the existing Star Wars lore in Star Wars Episode 9 by use of course, different powers and different locations, as well as evolving the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in this story, and exactly what's going to be explained in this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of both Kylo Ren and Rey walking through what's described to be a dark environment while walking on a metallic bridge. It's described that Rey and Kylo are seeing visions of the past from the prequels to the originals, and even the era between episodes 6 and 7. The next goes over a rear shot of Luke Skywalker with an ignited green lightsaber, where it's said that Luke is engaging in a brief lightsaber duel with Supreme Leader Snoke. It's described that Snoke's lightsaber appears to be a white blade, where the sequence consists of 4 clashes followed by Luke striking Snoke's forehead, where the vision is described to eventually fade with Snoke's yell becoming more distant. It's described that Kylo and Rey begin to see the life story of the Skywalkers in this vision, and that one of them is a brief duel between both Snoke and Luke, and explains how Luke and Snoke have a grudge against each other. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this, and the first thing I want to say is this: worlds between worlds. Absolutely. I'm starting to really believe that this is JJ's way of inserting something from Star Wars Rebels that was so massive, created by Dave Filoni, mind you. He is the man who essentially introduced time travel and introducing all these voices and visions going through Ezra Bridger's head. And I think it's rather incredible that JJ had a lot of discussions with Dave Filoni while he was writing the script and while they were in pre-production and principal photography and stuff like that. So the fact that all of these different creatives are talking, we're talking J.J. Abrams, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, everybody involved with the Star Wars series. What's really interesting about this particular sequence, though, is that Kylo Ren and Rey are said to be walking through a dark environment on a metallic bridge. Now, if you guys go ahead and check out the Worlds Between Worlds episode of Star Wars Rebels, very similar scenario. It's a dark environment. Ezra Bridger is walking on something that's kind of like a bridge, basically, and it's essentially the same exact thing here. However, in this scenario, both Kylo Ren and Rey witness a brief duel between both Luke Skywalker and Supreme Leader Snoke, engaging in a lightsaber duel, mind you, where Luke is actually engaging against Snoke and strikes his forehead, which could absolutely explain as to why Snoke has that crease in the middle of his forehead. It seems as so that was of course caused by Luke Skywalker himself. Now, what's really interesting about this is that we do know that J.J. Abrams, for Episode 9, is going to be introducing new lore for Star Wars as a whole that's really going to change how we view the franchise and exactly what's going to be possible in the Star Wars universe. You know, Dave Filoni started off with time travel in episode, or should I say in the episode Worlds Between Worlds, and with all of that, it was quite controversial because a lot of people were saying time travel does not belong in Star Wars. It doesn't make sense. And yes, in the World Between Worlds, it's not necessarily time travel per se, but at the same exact time it is. It's hard to explain, but if you guys watch the full episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, to make the story short, Ezra Bridger is able to save Ahsoka Tano from Darth Vader from a moment in the past. So it really does bring the question: if the Worlds Between Worlds is indeed coming back in Episode 9, and if this environment that Kylo Ren and Rey are walking through, where Luke is fighting Snoke, they could most certainly save somebody such as Han Solo, or Kylo Ren saving Han Solo from himself. That's a possibility. Do I think that they will go that far? I don't think so, because this is a live-action movie. I don't think that they would actually save somebody through, you know, a moment in the past or anything like that. It would be, I don't think it would really match directly up with what Disney and Lucasfilm are trying to do with the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So The fact that, though, they are introducing other pieces of lore, like, of course, flow walking and these force bond sequences and force vision sequences that are going to be mixed with lightsaber duels, that's a very interesting and different medium of Star Wars that J.J. Abrams is adding into Episode 9, which I honestly think is very unique and cool. But in this specific sequence, we have, both Kylo Ren and Rey witnessing the brief lightsaber duel between both Snoke and Luke Skywalker before their very own eyes. So they are essentially seeing the Skywalker life legacy, their basic life story, ranging from Anakin Skywalker to Leia to Luke, you name it, and that of course leads all the way up until Ben Solo. We do know that this movie is really going to provide a lot of original and unique experiences that may or may not sit well with fans, and that's another thing to think about for sure. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.